In the culture wars, there are no winners, just podcasters. Only a few are willing to risk their lives in the face of some of the dumbest ideas to have ever captured human civilization. Every week, we, Megan Daum and Sarah Hayter, humbly accept this mission to bring you conversations that are equal parts stunning, brave, and I was hoping somebody would put something in the chat. Live. We're live. And we are crying ugly tears of joy. I am anyway.
Ugly tears of joy.
Ugly.
Yeah.
I am ugly crying my white woman tears because I am so relieved that Kamala Harris is here to save us, here to save democracy. Intro
I'm
is cringe. Okay. All right. If you are listening, if you happen to be listening on audio, we're live streaming right now. So we are going to be responding to the people in the comments. So hi, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah. Who says the intro is cringe? Who said it?
Monaco A. Well, send us a better one. Yeah, we're also we're on opposite sides of the screen today.
I think it's a studio, or I think it's like how we join. Like usually you come on first and that puts you on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got stuff to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Like, are you, are you feeling, there's a lot of white lady discourse today, about Kamala, and I don't know if you're feeling left out.
I am. It's not about me at all.
No
one cares.
It needs to be
say.
No. So yeah, we're gonna talk about maybe some serious things, but I just wanted to, I said the other day that I could not overstate the degree to which I was dreading the Kamala discourse because I was seeing all the kind of, it was like the reemergence of the basic bitch iconography, you go girl memes. And I was highly annoyed, but today I'm feeling a sense of lightness because I feel that everyone, there's this kind of consensus that this has, we're past this. We're past this moment, but maybe not. So I'm going to read a thread. I mean, I just noticed this a few hours ago, and people can feel free to comment. So it's a little lengthy, but we'll try to do it efficiently. This is being tweeted by somebody who goes by REKH. I don't know. She says she's an educator, volunteer, partner, mom, reader, Jayhawk. I guess that's a team. And she's a she, her, just FYI. Okay. This is what she has to say. White friends, especially white women who did not have an undergraduate sorority experience. In the coming months, you'll likely see a great deal of content about VP Harris's sorority affiliation and the support from its members. We heart it. Some info and tips for us. Did you have a undergraduate sorority experience?
I did not.
Me neither.
I did not. I wish I had, because then I would have, maybe I would have understood what Syra Rao is going through,
Oh,
because I think that's what triggered her. That was her origin story, because she was in a white woman sorority.
So, well, maybe, I don't know if Syra appreciates this or not, but okay. Well, so Madam VP's affiliation is Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc. Use the full name whenever possible. AKA is the appropriate abbreviation if needed. It was founded in 1908 at Howard University. Okay. AKA is one of 9 Black Greek letter organizations unified under the National Pan-Hellenic Council. It's not pansexual or anything. It's Pan-Hellenic. This is Greek organization. I was fair. There were no sororities in my college at all. I find this whole thing very confusing.
Was it at a women's college? No, liberal arts.
Well, I went
to there's basically a women's college.
I went to a women, you know what? I'm not even going to say it. No, it's a co-ed college. It was co-ed. It used to be women's college. Okay. Anyway, AKA is one of these is a Black sorority. There are 9 women's organizations under this council and 5 men's. The collective, often called the Divine Nine, Okay. AKA symbols include ivy and pearls and the colors pink and green.
That's so ugly. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
That's ugly. Okay.
You obviously weren't around in the 80s, okay? The symbols, gestures, and other insignia of the organization are not ours to post, wear, etc. Do not use these to represent your support. Okay.
Not ours as in not the white women
Not white
who are
women.
reading this thread. Okay.
Okay. I mean,
can I use it?
I don't. Well, we're going to get to that because I think there's some brown erasure going on.
Okay.
But I mean, pink and green. Really, first they came for my pink and green and pearls, and I said nothing.
Right.
I mean, if white ladies can't wear pearls and pink and green, what? I mean, are they supposed to just be naked? I mean, there's nothing more white lady than that.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't really. Okay, all right. Like their Divine Nine counterparts, AKA has hand signs and dance elements seen in step routines and party strolls that are uniquely theirs. You may likely see them in photos and videos. Again, not ours. These are not TikTok dances for everyone to learn, not photo poses to be appropriated. Hype them, share them, support the art. Do not do them, period. Okay, after each of those. And if you're lucky enough to be in an event where a Black Greek party stroll breaks out, back up and cheer. Don't try to join in. This is not a conga line at your cousin's wedding reception. No, it is not. And if you need to cross the room, you do not walk through the middle of the party stroll line to get there. Go around. I mean, I'm like, I'm relitigating all these experiences in the past.
Do you like this? Do you like being told what to do like this?
Well, I mean, it's a good education.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so many times I've seen a conga line and I've just like broken through. If I see a conga line and I'm like, fuck no, I'm not walking around. I just go through. I just smash through. You know?
Yeah.
I don't have time. I got important work to do. I'm a girl boss and I just walk through conga lines. I don't have any truck with them. Okay. Members of the organization do not use the term sisters that you may hear white sorority women use. They will call one another soror. S-O-R-O-R. This is not a synonym for sibling or friend. Don't try to use it in place of sister or bestie. Members only among themselves. I'm going to call you soror.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It sounds very like Game of Thrones or
something about it.
Something.
It's the two R's back to back. It's not even, it doesn't. It rolls weirdly off the tongue.
It sounds like French.
Yeah.
It's like soror.
Yeah.
All right. In greeting or to acknowledge one another in groups, you may hear their call. Ski wee. Okay. SKEE hyphen WEEE. How do you say that? Is it like Haktua? Okay. Sometime just like that, in a call and response, always high pitched, you might hear ski wee.
Ski wee. There's like
don't do it. Don't do it. We're going to get banned. We're going to get shadow banned again. Okay.
Okay.
I know it's in a popular song, but still, no, period. We're not going to have well-meaning white folks trying to use that at rallies to cheer or anywhere. Again, not for us. Black Greek culture is wonderful, and the culture is not transferable.
Mm-hmm.
End of TED Talk. That's a little joke. Thank you for your time. Wow.
I feel educated.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. I mean, this is what it's like to, to go to college and just try to absorb all 4 years.
Okay. Did you see her profile picture, this woman? I mean, not to single her out. It's not a lookist thing, but she looks crazy. She has crazy eyes. I don't know if you noticed. But she's like staring like this.
Oh. Sometimes people can't help that. That's a white woman thing. All white women have crazy eyes. So the responses to this are amazing. Okay, I'm just going to read a few. This is Amy. Thanks for the info. As a white woman who did not have a sorority experience, I appreciate the education. I was thinking of wearing. I can't even keep a straight face. This is serious. I was thinking of wearing pearls to show support, but now see how that would be co-opting a culture I have no part in. I'm so excited to support VP Harris for
This is
president.
not a real person. There's no way. There's no way. This is an AI person.
Okay, and then and then there was some discussion about Chuck Taylors. Can't wear those either.
Why not? No, okay,
well, because
pearls and
Kamala
Chucks
wears
together.
Chucks, pearls and Chucks, pearls, and then I guess maybe that was so. Then there was some black women coming in and actually giving permission, giving a pass to wear pink and green or Chuck Taylors. So it's really, it's how kind of like how these teenagers, they say that if they want to use the N-word, they get a pass from a black kid friend, and they can use it like one time.
Okay.
So I think that's what's happening.
Who should we ask? We need to ask somebody, because I don't know.
Is there anyone if there's anyone in the comments, you can,
if you're a black woman, can you bless
keep
us?
an eye out. Yeah. So somebody, I think this is a black woman. Chucks and pearls are fine and welcomed. As a non-Greek affiliated woman, I will be in mine. Somebody says, pearls I wear for RBG. Wait, pearls is a Ruth Bader Ginsburg thing? I thought that was something else.
I thought she wore a doily.
She wore those amazing brocade jackets.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, this isn't real, Megan. This can't be real. These are all bots, right? They have to be.
I don't know. Somebody wants to say, to be clear, being white, my Chucks with pearls is okay? I ask because I've been doing the high-low dress thing since the 80s. Example, little white dress with denim jacket, etc. And I know I've dressed up my Chucks with pearls many times, but I don't want to offend.
Don't risk it, girl. Don't risk it. You will offend.
Okay, here's some pushback. I wear pearls all the time. Pink when it calls for it. This seems like a divisive, snooty, look down your nose at white women who didn't join a sorority in college. I just paid my way through school and went to work. Excuse me, going to get rid of this bad taste in my mouth.
Did Kamala pay her way through school?
I don't know. Somebody says, oh, Amy's back again. I didn't take this as snooty at all. I'm glad to learn how to support each other without causing undue offense. I think you can see by the responses that pearls and Chucks are perfectly okay for us to wear to show our support for Madam Vice President. We just need to be aware of how.
This isn't real. It can't be real. It can't be real.
I think it is. I mean, the original thread is so brilliant. Oh, sorry. I can't. Just a few more. Here's a response. Thank you. You have me weeping, capital W, weeping, because this is what a good ally looks like. Educate self, educate others, expect change and respect. Thank you. Today, you gave me more hope. And original poster responds, wow, thank you. I appreciate your words so much. Cheers to hope.
The quote tweets are funny. One lone white woman out here doing the Lord's work, says somebody named Queen Justine, with a K and a W, at sass class nice ass. That has to be fake. This whole thing, that's tongue in cheek.
I think it's evolving in real time. I think that so anyway, we don't have to. There are lots of there's a lot of you go girling going on here. So there was somebody who, let's see, sorry. Oh no, I can't find it. Anyway, I'll just paraphrase it. So it was something like her daughter, she has her little daughter who's, I don't know, 11 or 12 or something. And she said, honey, Kamala Harris is running for president. And the daughter said, fuck yeah.
No.
And people were suggesting that wasn't true.
Impossible to imagine.
I mean, I don't know. If you raise your girl right, she's going to say fuck yeah.
Do you know people like this?
I probably know them, but they just stay away from me because now they know me. Now they know what I've become. I mean, I do see it on Facebook. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook has just become. Well, I've said this
Cesspool.
before.
Just
I can't.
cesspool.
It is like a hot stove. If I even venture on it, I just see something that profoundly upsets me.
Yeah. I can't go on because it's just it's deeply upsetting because there's so many people who just like forgotten I was on their friends list or something. You know, they would remove me if they knew that
they only knew
we were still friends.
There's danger lurks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Can you post a link to the article in the chat? Maybe, says Caleb the Cynic.
This is a
tweet thread,
it's a tweet
sir.
Thread, not an article.
We don't talk about articles.
Please.
Not
you
not
overestimate
here.
us.
So do you feel good about it? Do you feel good about, well, one, do you feel good about Biden dropping out? For me, that's a big yes. I feel great about it.
Yes, but I already forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about Trump getting shot. And now I forgot about Biden dropping out because that was like 2 days ago. That was like a day and a half ago. So I don't remember.
Link. I'm so stupid.
Hold on. Did you send the link to our personal? Did you send something personal?
No, it was the next one. It's the next one you want to talk about.
Login info. Okay.
No.
All right, live streamers. What do you have to say? I think Scott says, I think the reason a lot of people's public opinion sounds so fake and dumb is because of the reduced vocabulary of social media users. You talk like your peers. And when they're bots, guess you talk like a bot. Yeah. I think that a lot of it is it's clout chasing. So there was a tweet by Shannon Watts who where is it? Oh, she deleted it already. Okay. Well, I have a screenshot. I have it. So Shannon Watts is she's a gun control advocate. She's a pretty prominent activist. And I actually wrote about her in my book, which I can explain in a second. But in the meantime, earlier today, she did a tweet for an event, I guess, that she's oh no, it's already happened. Oh no, it's happening on Thursday. On. Sorry, white women, answer the call.
Okay.
Showing up for Kamala Harris Thursday, July 25th, virtual meeting.
Does it offend you? Are you not offended being referred to this way? Like just white women,
look, I'll take what I can get.
It's not.
I'll take. Look, I'll take.
Really,
I'll answer to anything at this point. Wait, hold on.
Not a part of you is offended.
No, because I don't. I don't consider myself white. They're not talking to me.
Really?
No, I transcend race. Like, you know how Camille Foster is not black? I'm not white.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
You can.
I think you can only do it one way. You can only do it when you're black. Maybe.
Okay, so on Sunday night, 44,000 women joined at Win with Black Women to gather to support Kamala Harris. During that call, the directive was clear. White women, it's your turn to show up. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
It's your turn. So it's finally our turn.
Finally.
I'm waiting.
Go vote.
So, okay, so Shannon Watts, I'm sure she does really good work in other realms. But I wrote about her in my book, The Problem with Everything, because do you remember Leggingsgate?
No.
So Leggingsgate was this incident where I think it was the Denver airport, United Airlines terminal, and there were people like lined up for their flights at different gates. And Shannon Watts is standing on some line to board a flight, and she sees at another gate there's a family, and they've got these two little girls with them, maybe preteen girls, and the girls are wearing leggings, and they are, from what Shannon Watts can see from a distance, being told that they have to put a skirt on over the leggings. Otherwise, they can't board the plane. And they're being told that there's a dress code. And Shannon Watts is totally freaking out about this.
They're wearing leggings and nothing else.
Yeah, but I mean, I wear leggings and nothing else. I mean,
Okay, so they're like not sheer leggings.
No, they're like,
they're just tight.
They're like you would wear to a yoga pants.
Yeah.
Okay. And so she's seeing this from a distance. She starts tweeting about it. it just explodes into this huge thing. All these celebrities are tweeting about it, like, United Airlines, shame on you, policing women's bodies, telling girls how to dress. I'm disgusted. How could this possibly be? We're living in a Handmaid's Tale, et cetera, et cetera. And it was huge. I mean, it was just like this PR disaster that went on for several hours, if not days. And then later we learned that the family was actually traveling on, friends and family passes. So if you work for the airline, or if you have a family member who works for the airline, they get a certain amount of passes every year, and they can fly for free. But there is a dress code. I mean, it used to be that men had to wear like a coat, like a jacket and tie. Like, there is a dress code for this particular form of travel. Mm-hmm. And so that's what was going on. And they were adhering to the policy, but it was just this massive thing. So Shannon, God bless her, likes getting involved. So, but I mean, what do you think of the fact that we're having this kind of stuff, but we're also having this like online right-wing bros making blowjob Kamala memes and actually being racist and misogynist?
Give an example.
Oh, they're all over the place. I mean, they're obsessed with this Willie Brown thing. So yeah, I mean, but this is well known. This is not news. So Kamala, very early in her career, had a relationship with Willie Brown, who was the mayor of San Francisco for a period of time. No, I don't know exactly what his position was at this time, but yeah, she was his girlfriend. He was like 30 years older, and he promoted her in various ways, and helped her career along. This was not
I've been paying attention more to Kamala lately. I feel like the right is making a mistake ignoring like pretending like she's gonna be garbage, definitely, and she's an idiot, and I even feel like that I underestimated her. I watched a bunch of stuff since our last recording, and I'm not like deeply impressed. I don't think she's spectacular. I don't think her charisma is through the roof, but there's something there, like it's not, she does have an appeal. And I was seeing a lot of like cuts of her kind of fumbling, repeating things over and over. I mean, she has this way of speaking where she's saying nothing for like long periods of time.
Well,
like
that's the key to success.
Yeah, well,
you say that like it's a negative thing.
Somebody cut, I think they were saying that the implication was that the character from Veep, did you ever watch that show?
Oh yeah, I mean, prescient.
They were saying that the impression was that character was based a little bit on Kamala, and there were clips of Kamala kind of fumbling and having this weird circular sentence structure, and then Julia
Louis-Dreyfus,
yes,
her character,
her character doing this very similar, like suspiciously similar kind of thing on the show as that character. And I don't know, I'm a sucker because I'm watching all this and I kind of think it's charming in a way, like it's like kind of dorky. Like somebody turns the camera on and you're just like brain fries for a second. That happens to me. I feel like that's happened to me several times, where somebody has asked me a question, or I just realized what was happening. Like I'm on a stage or something and there's a crowd and my brain just like blanks out for a second there. And, I just need to bide my time until I remember what's happening and what question somebody just asked me. And I think that just happens to her a lot. Some people are like that. That's okay. She has other problems, but I don't think that's one of them.
I would really be happy if she got a personality. If she could take on some, set of qualities that made her seem like a real person.
Yeah,
I would be elated.
That's what I'm saying with the fumbles, that I actually think they make her human, and that's why I
I think that lean into that.
It's like the Biden gaffes where he would say all this weird stuff, like it kind of made him endearing until it was like not intentional, or it definitely not something he even knew he was doing. But I think she's kind of corny, and she should lean into being corny instead of away from it. She needs to avoid the Hillary Clinton trap.
What would that be?
no
being
charisma, no likability, not being a person people think that they can relate to at all.
But Hillary Clinton, at least nobody said she wasn't competent. And I feel like Kamala doesn't have that going for her. So
how much competence does this job need anyway?
Yeah, here's the thing too. I've been thinking about this. I mean, the president, it's not a serious job.
He's not. We have a president right now who's not there. He's just not there.
I know.
He goes to bed at 5 p.m. every day. Or he's just not there. Like,
so
in
she
his
technically
body.
is the president. I mean, they're going to run her as the incumbent. I mean, what do you think of this idea that they're going to take him out, replace her now, and then she will be the president?
Hot swap. I don't know.
But maybe they'll run somebody else. Maybe they'll put her in. I mean, isn't this literally the plot of Veep as well? I can't.
Yeah, I
remember.
think it's ridiculous.
She was president for like 5 minutes on a technicality, and then she lost.
Are they going to do a primary or something? Like, are they going to do something where people are allowed to openly run?
She has to go through a process. She can't just. She is the presumptive nominee.
They should do that. They should do whatever that process is. If not for if for nothing but the long game, the 4D chess version of it, where you do it and hopefully she ends up on top. And if she does, that's great, because now she has like the people's, okay, that gives her legitimacy, and then it helps her find somebody who could be her vice president, and could maybe even be the future of the party. Like, that's what's important here, that the Democratic Party needs a future that is like real, and I think that that's what Vance has kind of given the right. Like, that's what he has given the GOP, is that he's young, he's talented, he's not new, and truly interesting, interesting, complex
I think
combination of ideas.
He's scaring a lot of people though. With his now they're he's saying childless cat women are ruining the world.
I just feel like some of the people who are getting very scared about him get scared really easily. You know what I mean?
I know.
They just hyperventilate all the time. So I don't know if I should be paying attention to it. It's a boy who cried wolf scenario for me here.
Yeah.
But when I read him, when I read his work, when I read his speeches, I'm of many minds. I have a lot of thoughts about it. I disagree with him in places. I agree with him in other places. He often surprises me, which is interesting because politicians never surprise you. Like politicians, you always know where they're going to go. You always know what they're going to say, what their, understanding of an issue is going to be, how they're going to legitimize their approach to something. He surprises me. I'm often like, oh, well, I didn't know that was a position one could take. Whatever. I haven't thought about it. And I feel that there's something interesting going on with Vance now, and with the GOP in general. Did you watch the Republican National Convention? Did you watch any of it?
I heard about it.
I heard it was going on. The Hulk Hogan speech. I don't know whether you can even call it that, but he like rips his shirt.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, so that was interesting.
I mean, what did you think about just this? I mean, it's really looking like they are trying to build a multiracial working class coalition.
Big tent coalition. It's happening.
If it were true, I would love it. Like, I wish it were true. I kind of
Why don't you
believe
think it's true?
Because I think Trump is still, I mean, I think we're starting to diverge on this. I think Trump is really dangerous, and I think he's volatile. I think they're sort of like trying to create this illusion that they are going to, it feels like a version of the Obama phenomenon in a way. Like, everyone's like suddenly like, oh, wow, this is going to be different. It's coming from a surprising place, and the people are taking it back.
I agree with you. I see the Obama similarities, and definitely with the RNC, there was something like weirdly culty about. I mean, of course, they all conventions, like political conventions, are creepy. I don't know. I find them deeply creepy. I can't really stomach much of it. And people are like, Janda, woo, and like I watched JD Vance's talk, and there was a period where he's talking about his grandma was
his
like
talk,
really interesting
speech. That says something about it. That was very low energy.
He wasn't great, but that's not bad. I think that coming across as authentic is important.
Yeah.
And he gives a speech, and he talks about his Mima, and people are Mima, they're like, and it's kind of corny, kind of weirdly culty, but not terrible. Not Handmaid's Tale stuff.
No, I like that. And then they were yelling, JD's mom, JD's mom.
Yeah. And it was kind of, he made himself vulnerable there for a bit. And I thought that's his appeal. There's something new about him. He's smart and he should not be underestimated. I'm seeing a lot of underestimations that are pissing me off. I saw, I sent it to you, the Rachel Maddow, her summary of JD Vance, who he is, how he got his start, and the fact that, all these creepy right-wing guys, they love Lord of the Rings for some reason. It's so weird.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. And he was dog whistling certain Lord of the Rings.
She said he started, because Lord of the Rings is, I guess, a dog whistle now, according to, this is the implication of Rachel Maddow. And she said, Peter Thiel had a Lord of the Rings inspired name for his, I guess, venture capitalist firm. I'm not sure what Palantir even is, but and JD Vance did a similar thing, where he called his venture capitalist firm Narya, and she's like, it's like Aryan but with the N swapped at the other. No. Why are you doing this? What? It's so. And then she tried to paint him as somebody who, he's basically just a white guy who has been pulled into the spotlight through the power and money of Peter Thiel. And then there's really nothing there other than that. He's just been handed all these jobs, which is such an incredible mistake to make, especially with somebody who seems like he's the opposite. I mean, he came from the background he came from, which he made very clear in his book, Hillbilly Elegy.
Which they're
and against all odds, made it to Yale, did well, impressed Peter Thiel. And yes, he's definitely being mentored by the guy, right? But that happens to people who are interesting and show promise.
Yep.
And he has had an amazing career at his age. I don't know how anyone can deny that. Like a bestseller that got turned into a movie.
Oh yeah.
He was a senator. He had a venture capitalist firm. None of these were runaway successes. None of these were, but he's just hopping. He's just skipping on up the way Obama did. At a young age. That's what Obama was doing. He was just using the last thing as a thing he needed to go to the next step. And I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's president. I think it is such a mistake to underestimate him. And it's so sad to see Rachel Maddow do it. I just feel I just take personally everything Rachel Maddow says that's bogus and, just outrageous. I take it very personally because I liked her so much when she first came on the scene.
Why?
I liked her so much because remember she was replacing Olbermann or something like that. That's kind of how it was happening with MSNBC. And I did not like Olbermann. Olbermann was such a blowhard. He was always yelling at you about somebody and you're the 10 worst people in the world. And I always thought that he was like O'Reilly, but for the left. And I just couldn't stand him. And I was glad to see him replaced with this woman who seemed really smart.
Yeah.
Really smart. She just has this way of coming up. She just comes across.
She looked different. Yeah.
She looked different. She was thoughtful. I just felt hopeful. I was like, this is a person. This is the future. This is what the Democrats are going to be. This is going to be my party. This is something amazing. And then Chris Hayes came and he was pretty good too. And now they're both garbage all the time. They're just hysterical nonsense garbage all the time. And I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. And it hurts me deeply personally.
Yeah. We were saying this before. There are just so many smart people on the left and we've lost their brain power because they have just chosen not to engage.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like that Upton Sinclair quote, right? Like, don't expect a man to understand something when his salary depends on not understanding it. I can't believe that they don't understand. Pete Buttigieg, I noticed you tweeted something about him too. He was saying,
I've said in my mind, I called him. So I'm like George W. Bush. Like I give people nicknames in my head and sometimes out loud. And I called him Buttigieg for a long, long time. And then I forgot his real name. I just called him Buttigieg in my head in front of people. And, there was a moment where I was like, what's his name? What's his real name? Anyway,
Buddha gig. So we're in a gig economy. So that he's just
Booty
perpetuating.
gig.
It's kind of like Maureen Dowd said that she remembered how to pronounce Ahmadinejad by thinking of I'm a dinner jacket.
Whatever you
which is very helpful. It comes in very, very handy. But yeah, Pete Buttigieg was on with Bill Maher, I guess, or no, maybe on one of the late night shows.
It was Bill Maher. Just
and like, this is just white men. He appeals to white men. He's a white man who appeals to other white men who want to make money, and that's it. It's like, God, man, there's so much going on in the world. Like, aren't you bored thinking like this? You're missing this good stuff.
You're missing the good stuff, and they have published interviews, like tons of like books. They're all about telling you why they believe what they believe, and you just want to ignore all that and say they're in it for the money. That's crazy. Like, that's just, of course, it, greed is a part of it, right? Like I said, like, I think like on Twitter, and I got a lot of heat for this, that I think it's crazy that people look at billionaires and see this like one-dimensional kind of person that is just like fully like just greed personified, and that is what is motivating everything they do, which is ridiculous given how many mega donors are on the left. First of all, like they can't possibly be true unless those are like the good billionaires, and then you have the bad billionaires who by definition of are being on the right are bad. But then you also have to explain why these guys were on the left and they changed, like they shifted. Did they become bad for some reason? Now they care about money more than they did like 10 years ago. You have to explain it. And they also explain it for you. That's the other thing. Like, they give you all this information. They have interviews, they have books, they're telling you. And if you want to ignore all of that, then look, gaslight yourself. Do it. Like, I don't feel that attached to this party anymore. I'm not part of the tribe. You want to sink. But of course, greed has something to do with it, I'm sure, right? Like, everybody is motivated by many things. And, people pointed out that, of course, like, they wouldn't have been billionaires if they didn't care a little bit about making money. Of course, that's one of the many things that is motivating them, I'm sure. But in the same way that you wouldn't say about poor people that they're just motivated about more handouts. They just want more handouts. You would never say that about the poor, even though it is probably true for some percentage of people.
I mean, why wouldn't it be? I'd be shocked if it weren't.
And it's, it's probably hanging out in the back of the minds of many, but they have other issues. They have values, they have religions, they have, they have other things they care about that are motivating them because they're complex people. And that is true of rich people too. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, that's not bootlicking to say it. And what I don't want to be is not just gaslit, but in a position where I find myself surprised with what's going on. And I was surprised with Trump's election a little bit. I was warning people that I think that he could get elected. I remember doing that, and I got so much heat, Megan, you wouldn't believe. People literally laughed at me. I was at a dinner. I remember this was in 2016, I think, like early 2016, like the primaries hadn't happened yet. And I was in a dinner with like this guy who's just this incredible like donor to like Democratic causes and stuff. And like a bunch of people from like, the nonprofit kind of world. And I remember saying that I think Trump is going to win the Republican primary. And I remember them laughing at me. Like, but they did this like, polite laugh where they weren't like guffawing. It was like
patting your head.
Oh, it was like that. It was like, oh, and I was like, I think he's going to win. Like, I think he's going to win the primary at least. And then he has a shot. I remember, just feeling like a fool in that moment. And then when he did win, just thinking, now they're going to wake up. Like, exactly. Now they're going to start paying attention.
Did they apologize for being so condescending?
No, I should have at least emailed one of them and said something.
Never too late. Yeah. I mean, it's, you never know what's motivating people. I mean, speaking of that, and someone just put a comment in the live stream. I mean, have you been following this stuff with Elon Musk and his trans child?
No, I just know that it exists.
Well, so Elon, this is, I mean, kind of huge actually. So Elon Musk did an interview with Jordan Peterson. Yeah, that renowned interviewer. Actually, I think he's getting better.
Okay.
Where he talked about how one of his kids, Xavier, and from his first set of kids with his first wife.
He has like waves of them.
Yes, right. They come in. What do you call that? His biological boy has been transed from some kind of youngish age, and he said, "I'd lost my child." He was talking about it in ways like, "My son is dead. He was killed by a woke mind virus," and it's really sounding like his entire anti-woke stance and buying Twitter and turning Twitter into what it is has been motivated by this personal situation. And if that's the case, that is pretty extraordinary, that the breakdown of the discourse on Twitter and elsewhere is the result of, one child in Beverly Hills being
I mean, I don't know. We don't know anything about, it's a family and what they're going to.
Well, I mean,
you can imagine. Yeah. The whole scenario is probably horrible. And
also he's got like how many kids? 12? Chances are that at least one of them is going to fall into this.
Yeah, where he is, especially like where they're growing up, the kind of set that they're growing up in. But it's just a terrible thing to see your child do, like to hurt themselves, like, and that's what they're doing, especially with the hormones. I mean, I don't know what this kid is doing, but they're taking hormones. These are carcinogens, at least. I think who else knows what they're doing, but it's terrible. I think a lot of people have that moment, though, that one personal experience that wakes them up. I don't think X, that's why he bought X. I think, are you calling it X now, by the way? I switched.
I call it Twitter X because I feel that that's more respectful of the Twitter X. Because we're the girls X. Girl X.
Yeah. I switch back and forth, and that makes me feel sick to my stomach. I really want to just go with Twitter. I don't like the X thing. I don't like, why is he naming everything X?
He tweeted something the other day. Should we go back to the name Twitter? Did you see it?
Oh, yeah. Yes. But I think there's no way he got it just for that. I mean, there's some value in there.
I'm not saying he bought Twitter because of this, but his extreme anti-wokeism is obviously coming from a very visceral place.
Often
and now we know what it is.
Yeah, that would be terrible if that's. I hope that child is okay and they snap out of it. Terrible thing. Makes me feel like he's a human, which billionaires sometimes are. Megan, did you know that? They have feelings, just like the rest.
Don't be calling Elon Musk a human. He's not gonna. You're mis-speciesing him. He probably doesn't want to be called that.
Okay. Speaking of, so this was the tweet I accidentally sent out on the chat. Sorry. Which somebody shared with us on the Substack chat and said that we should discuss.
Okay.
And this is from Signal. A man named Signal on X.
Oh.
SIGNULL, Signal. NULLL in the handle. And he says, Zuck, Asian wife. Trump, imported wife. Bezos, Latina girlfriend. Mitch McConnell, Asian wife. JD Vance, Indian wife. Jeb Bush, Latina wife. 15 out of 16 of my white guy friends are all with Asians. Trend has been brewing for a while, but fascinating now. It has insanely more visibility. What do you think?
Look, white women, it's not our time. We have to step aside. We have to let others speak. We have to sit back and listen and learn. And if that includes, being dumped by white husbands for Asians, I think it's time that.
Where are they going? Where are the white women?
Where are the white women going? They're going on retreats, and they're going on Facebook and going like, I will not wear pink and green. They're too busy being allies. They don't have time for husbands. Allyship is a full-time job. So
I need to know what's going on, though. It's happening, and I do see it all the time. I see a lot of these. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of I think because so Melissa Chen hopped on and she says, "Do you want the politically incorrect answer?" And the guy said, "Please," and I don't think she responded. Which
Oh, Melissa.
No, she did somewhere.
What did she say?
She did.
Okay.
She did. She responded not to his pleas, but to her own answer.
Okay.
Feminism has poisoned Anglo and American women. They view gender dynamics in a zero-sum way, and all that empowerment, quotes, has led to a mindset that is self-serving, transactional, and selfish. Participation trophies since childhood and self-affirmation, hyper-individualism have encouraged narcissism in these women who simply don't see that they have obligations to social ties that they did not choose. Hence, duty, obligation, sacrifice, service are alien concepts. What do you think?
Well, Melissa, I love you, Melissa, but that is a paint by numbers response. Give me a break. I mean,
why do you think it is? What's going on?
A certain cohort of white women on social media are that way, but I don't think the majority are. And I mean, I guess you could argue that a disproportionate number of white women who are in elite colleges where these rich guys are likely to meet their spouses are like that. But look, most people are normies.
Here's my answer. Here's my answer is that these guys they exist in a social climate in which there are a lot of other races like floating around. There's a lot of Indians, there's a lot of Asians, there are white women too, but everybody's just kind of commingling, and they're the ones who make the money. And so you see them this white guy started a company, made a lot of money. Now you see him like in the spotlight, and he has this Asian wife, so you hear about it. But there are probably, the inverse is happening. There's some brown guy out there, he's making money, he has a white wife, whatever. Yeah. Other things are happening too. Probably.
I mean, people are just intermarrying. I don't know.
People are intermarrying,
I think
People are intermarrying. Yeah, that's it.
Or maybe these guys, they want somebody who is good at spelling and want a spelling bee.
I'm so terrible at spelling. It's so screwed up that's
you are a Shonda for your
I know
race. Why are Indians so into spelling bees?
I don't know. I read a blog post about it once. I didn't get to the end of it. It was boring, but we need to pick that up again because I don't understand it at all. But yeah, I think intermarrying has a lot to do with it. It could also be that there's just more marriage-minded women that come out of certain more traditional cultures. I think that might be a little bit of an effect there, and they may be more willing to, I guess, sacrifice.
Yeah, their families are encouraging them to get married in a way that.
And they're supporting in a way that maybe the white women don't have. They might not have that kind of structure, that enables them to be that kind of spouse.
Yeah. Wait, the people in the comments are responding here. I feel like we should acknowledge them. Thank you, Caleb, for the donation.
Yes,
thank you. And thank you.
Caleb has donated twice.
Oh, he is
champion.
Full of money. He must have an Asian wife. He's so rich. Okay. I love white women. Oh, that's Razib.
Yeah,
okay.
He does. That's what I'm saying. A lot of brown guys. Yeah. A lot of brown guys. Like, okay, I talk to brown guys. I know brown guys. Like and Asian guys, they love white women. They love them. They're like the blonde, blue-eyed thing is still a fantasy for a lot of people. That is still a fantasy for a lot of brown guys. So I don't know.
Okay. So Trevor, I said this earlier, it has to do with a big majority of white women being insufferably woke. A big majority on social media, but I really don't think if you go to the University of Alabama.
So that's the problem. I think that's the problem. Is the majority. In order to get non-woke white women, you have to go for like kind of, not an idiot, but in these elite circles, you want a high IQ non-woke person. I think you're more, the chances are just a little bit better that you'll encounter somebody like that who's from like a traditional culture herself. I think, but I would say that still only explains like 10% of it.
Yeah.
At most. I think it's just that people are intermarrying. I think that's what's happening. I know a lot of like brown guys, Asian guys with white women. I know a lot of that. I see that personally all the time.
Tom S. Asians are thinner. That's the brutal answer. End of story. Okay. Well, yeah, and also some of these guys are kind of, scrawny, so they want a small partner. That's the brutal answer of Tom. Okay. Let's see. I live in, here's a are there any women on this? No. Did we block out all the women? These are like 100% male audience.
Me. It's me. I did it.
Jasper of Puppets. I live in Los Angeles and work in the film industry, so vast majority I interact with are woke. Yeah, they're woke. They're not so woke in the back channels, my friend. So you have to
Trevor
separate.
is talking to
Yeah.
my wife's friend is like live streaming a lefty Twitter. It's nauseating. They are just parroting the correct view back to each other constantly. Yeah. I think it's an elite white women problem more than it is a white woman problem. And that's why we see this sort of like this elite phenomena happening where they're looking for just women out from a different culture who have just like a different perspective that's like easily available, you know? And I just,
there's a woman came on. 2 women.
No.
Women.
2 women. Okay, that's great.
Yeah. What are our best okay, how this she proves she's a woman because she wants to change the subject. And what are your best recommendations for reading these days? Honey, okay. We should have a book club. We should have the Special Place book club, and we should only read books that
Have you ever been in a book club where 1, it lasted for a while, like, and then 2, people actually read anything?
I've heard of book clubs where people read stuff, and it sounds arduous. It's mostly a wine club.
I would love for an actual book club to exist, like something real, and we're reading it, and everyone's going to read it, and it's going to be like a Socratic seminar, you know, like in college, and you're going to be grilled.
You would have time for that?
I would make time for that.
I know a book club that's a men's book club, and they're very serious, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I actually
here in
my brother
Los Angeles. Yeah, and I know some men in this club, and they get so competitive. Oh yeah, no, they meet in real life, and they have to like one up each other with the longest, most serious, hard going book it's going to be, and then they compete with like how fast they're going to read it. It just sounds miserable.
I think it sounds great. I would love
it. Well,
I want to join that book club.
Well, we have book clubs in the Unspeakeasy online community. We have at least one. We have, I think sometimes we have even specialty book clubs. But yeah, we have a robust book community.
Okay.
So people do like it. Okay, here's Sean was at the Rob Henderson event the other night. Oh, hi. Yeah, so I did a private event on Saturday night here in LA with Rob Henderson.
Oh,
and it was
private
packed.
Event with who? Like what? Like what?
Well,
what kind?
he just
like
did.
It was his book.
Yeah. I was the interlocutor, so I just asked him questions, and he talked about his book. And there were, oh my God, Sean, how many people do you think were there? I'm really bad at that.
We're gonna wait. He's like 100. He's walked away now.
He walked away.
We don't know.
I think there were it was really crowded, and people were standing up. 100 to 200. Wow.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a big house.
Okay.
But yeah, and it was interesting because there were several people there who were interested because of the foster care angle. So it was a really interesting crowd because it wasn't just the regular libertarian kind of Reason magazine types, but there were some people who had found their way to him because they had been in foster care or had stuff to do with it. And that was really interesting. Also, someone fell in the pool. So it was a total success for a party.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was it a woman?
It was a man.
Suck. Then that would be sad.
And I'm not going to give away who it was, but it was a man who was
it Rob?
Should be very no. It would have been Razib if he had been there, but it was not. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Sean saw it happen. Honest mistake. Razib's having drinks with Rob Henderson in 1 hour. All right. This is a little bit claustrophobic. All right. Sarah, can you speak on Foucault? Okay. Yes. Could you please?
Not at length at the moment because I just finished my work, so it's not the kind of thing I can sound smart about at the moment. But I've actually read like bits and pieces of quite a bit of his work, and like over the years, I was exposed to it. I think back in college, and then just continue to revisit, partially because there's the whole IDW thing where this guy is like the root of all evil, you know, and this is the source from which all the horrible ideas that we hate stem. And I've been trying to see if I can find that for myself. It is not quite what I found, but I haven't done an exhaustive reading. I think it seems as if it's interpretations of his work that are stupid. Just really basic, simplistic understand, of what he's saying that seem to lead there. But I haven't done an exhaustive reading, so I cannot like write about it or like speak at length about it at all. There's an interesting work of his on like sort of insane asylums and the business of insane asylums in in France. I would recommend that. So there's some interesting work that I don't find him to be as impenetrable as like Butler or Spivak.
Well,
can't stand
Butler is
the
gold standard of
right. I don't even try. I don't know what they're saying. Who cares? But Foucault is not like that. I think he does want to be understood at some point, and once you get the hang of it, it's not impossible reading. And there's some interesting insights there. And I don't even think he tries to be as prescriptive as people accuse him of being. And of course, he was probably a pedophile, but look who wasn't.
They all were back then.
I have this book,
France,
about the lives of intellectuals that I've been reading, and we need to talk about this on the podcast. It is horrible. These people were freaks,
of course.
So, there's the one on Rousseau. That's how it starts, with Rousseau, and the guy was a monster and like a piece of shit. And there's all this evidence that he was the worst person you've ever met. And Rousseau wrote so much on kids and on education and how kids should be brought up, and the role the state should play. And then it turns out he gave away his 5 kids to
the state.
To the state back in the day in France, where you could just give. Because
he thought it was best. Well, maybe he
didn't want to. He didn't want to take care of the kid. He didn't want to.
Where was the mother?
The mother was. I don't think they were not married. She was just kind of his mistress. He just persuaded her to do it every time, and she did it. And they probably died there, because most of the kids in those I forget exactly what the institution was or how it was funded, but it was a common thing in France at a time where there were just a lot of babies, and you could just sort of give them up into these hospital nursery type situations, and most of the kids there died
of starvation or disease.
I think it was like dysentery, like they pooped themselves to death. I mean, it was just like unsanitary conditions. It was a terrible time for children, and it is unlikely that any of his kids survived. And it is incredible that this man wrote so much on education. It's incredible that he's still seen, like, his effect on the intellectual world continues to this day, and what we think about what education should be like, what the role of the state should be, is predicated so much on the ideal of this man. And when you see his life and how he lived it, you think this is a monster.
Yeah, but he was justifying his choices.
5 of them.
I mean, that's what somebody just said too. Butler redefined gender to normalize herself. I think that's what people do.
5 of them. I mean, it's a cruel, deeply cruel thing to do.
Caleb gave us another $5.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. That makes for a total of $7.
Megan, don't announce
we can't split that equally. Can you give either take $1 away?
Yeah, can people do this, please? Like, give even amounts, because then we're gonna have to fight about it, and I don't want to fight with Megan for that little.
Because you don't want to fight with a white woman,
because I would win,
especially if I'm wearing pearls. So we'll take them off and
do you own a
lash
set of pearls?
You with them.
Do you own pearls?
No.
I don't have any pearls.
I mean, I have a necklace that has some pearls on it.
I can't figure out like what's a good quality pearl. I need to find like an older white woman to teach me like the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's so. I mean, I kind of get back this whole like black sorority doing like the pink and green and the pearls thing. It's so aspirational. I mean, it's like they read the preppy handbook in 1982 and this is what waspy white people do, so we're gonna embrace this. Like, I would love to know the history of the accoutrements of this sorority.
Where did the pink and green come in?
I would love to. Yeah,
it is the ugliest combination.
Well,
my roommates wanted that freshman year of college. They were like, we're gonna do pink and green, and they both were like, yes. And then I couldn't say anything. I was like, this is so ugly.
It's so WASP. It's just people who you're so wealthy that you don't have to have any taste. Like, it doesn't matter. You've transcended it. It's like, these are the people that don't, they don't have any taste in food. Like, they don't really eat. They only drink. They drink, but they don't eat. It's a whole world.
I get it.
But it's,
that's okay.
it's
That's
funny that, but it's funny that, that they've, embraced that. I mean, it's very, I'm sure Paul Fussell would have something interesting to say about that.
Is he dead?
Yes, I think he is. Unfortunately, he'd be an amazing guest.
Yeah, he was I was like, how old? I mean, so Chomsky's still alive, I think. So we might be able to get him as a guest, right? Because it was like it was like said that he was dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah,
he just shows up. He just says yes to anybody.
Triscuits and canned cheese. Yeah. Somebody asks, they should make a laughing Kamala mask, like the laughing Chewbacca mask. That's racist. Okay. Do you think the enthusiasm for Kamala on the internet TikTok will die down considerably before the election? Oh, $20, Rust Cole.
Oh my
Thank
God. That's big money.
Supporting female content. #feminism. Thank you, ally.
This is what we need. We need more men like Rust. I'm assuming assuming the gender here.
Somebody says, get Camille Paglia. Where is she hiding? Good question. I have been trying to get Camille Paglia for the better part of 5 years.
Where is she hiding? Like, do you know?
I think she lives in Pennsylvania. She teaches at the Philadelphia College of the Arts.
We should find her. Like,
she's unfindable.
Sort of. She teaches at a school. Philadelphia Arts.
I had somebody in the Unspeakeasy community who lives or was working in the town, the small town in Pennsylvania where Camille is rumored to live, offered to like help me track her down to but I mean, everyone loves her. I mean, I'm sure the Red Scare girls of, hiding in her bushes outside her house. Who knows?
It would be great. She would interrupt both of us all the time.
Oh,
I need that. Yeah.
And she would say, okay. She puts okay at the end of every sentence.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to talk about Sean's question. Will the enthusiasm for Kamala die down considerably before the election? I don't think so. The You Go girls have a lot of stamina. I mean, I don't think they're going to, there's the Facebook contingent will keep it up. I don't know about like the rest of them.
But they're not real. These are not real people. You know what I mean? Like, they're just in isolated little, I don't know, wine mom bubbles. And I don't think they can pull people into their side.
But they'll be talking about it on CNN, and Rachel Maddow will be talking about it, and it will be in the big institutions, and we won't.
I think they're going to lose. New York Times whatever, no matter what happens, Trump is going to win. That's our next president. And we're just going to have to deal with it. I know. I've accepted it.
And we're going to have to hear about how the country wasn't ready for a Black woman president. And it's just crazy.
I forgot about that.
That's the worst part.
No.
I mean, by the way, it is just not true. I mean, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I just think the country's, yes, there are racists, but it's just really not that racist anymore. The Republicans
didn't
would
you think
love
Obama would,
yeah. I mean, they would, yeah.
Obama should have ended this conversation. I feel like, and it never ended. It just
became
so much more
race, but it became more.
We just dialed it up. We dialed it up.
So their argument would be that we are racist because look what happens. Look at the backlash. I think Condoleezza Rice could be elected in a second. I think Nikki Haley stands a good chance. What do you think?
She's not fitting in any like camp that well. She has a Mitt Romney problem.
I love
a little bit of it. Yeah, but that's a problem with it. Right. Like that he's just sort of, he's not too much of any one tribe. He's not really hitting all their notes, which it's hard not to like as a person, but makes them kind of bland, I think, from a candidate perspective.
Yeah, well, I like bland. But yeah, I just don't, this idea, see, again, like, you get in with normies and they're just going on and on about racism and the sexism, and we're never going to see a woman president because of misogyny. And it's like,
I'm so glad he went with a white guy. Trump did, honestly. I'm glad he didn't like cater to it. Like he just said, I don't care. I'm just going to go with.
I mean, it was kind of brilliant. It's like, it's a masculinity. It's like, it's all these guys who feel so.
But he wasn't even going to do the McCain did the thing.
Flex.
McCain did that, right, where he was just like just a woman because she's a woman, and I thought it was horrible. And I found it disgusting.
No,
I didn't like it.
It's so insulting.
It is insulting, and I'm glad he didn't do it. I'm glad he went from some white boy from Ohio. I thought that was
I know.
I thought it was a right pick. I actually think that people have been thinking about why he picked Vance. Partially, like Rachel Maddow says, he picked Vance because he thought he's already winning. So, because Vance wins nobody, Vance brings nobody else.
Yeah, it was a flex.
That's what people have saying. I disagree.
Okay.
I do not think I do not think that's what it is. I think that Vance has connections to a alternative hall of power that is emerging somewhat recently.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
This Silicon Valley kind of new kind of counter elite, or they're positioning themselves as a potential counter elite. We're seeing the initial developments of this, and I think Trump rightfully recognizes that that's the connection.
Yeah.
That connection is strong, and that's what Vance represents. That's what Trump has not had. He has not had elite support of any kind.
Right.
Partially,
these are elites he can catch.
These are elites he can get, and these are elites he can, he can count on come his actual presidency, which might change the way that he governs and what he actually does when he's in power. I have no idea how it's going to actually play out, but I think that was his play. His play was, this is his way to get his elite, this new elite.
Do you think that this group can fairly be called the new right? Is this the same thing, or is this like slightly to the side of that?
What do you mean?
Well, like the new right, like, I mean, we were talking to the Collinses the other, we just dropped the episode, and they're talking about the new right. What is the new right? And it does seem like it is a lot of these tech people.
It's people who it seems as if that it's not coming from a religious place the way that the old right did, the old moral majority did.
It's
I think that's the biggest
difference.
But that is not to say that they don't respect religion. They do. And they do have this strong, like, traditions are important, norms are important kind of. Yeah, they're trad, but not religious, right? They're, kind of, they have the spirit of religion, but not maybe the literal aspects of it. I think it's interesting, and I think that they are new, and something might happen with Trump that couldn't happen before. And I think, you were mentioning about how he himself is a dangerous character, and I don't necessarily disagree with that analysis. I think there's something about Trump that he has, in 2016, he managed to demolish what was left of the Republican establishment, which was already crumbling, like termites. It was already something that was slowly rotting away. And then what we've seen from a demography perspective, we've seen educated whites shift over. They used to be Protestant, like mainline Protestants, and they used to be on the right, and they were solidly there for a very long time. And then they switched camps. And I think that what that did was hollow out the Republican establishment in a way that it did not recognize.
Yeah.
Until it collapsed on the weight of itself and under the weight of the Trump challenge, like populist challenge. And I think he got rid of the rest of it. So there's an extent to which what's going on is brand new. And there's a possibility of something new forming under the brush fire of Donald Trump. That's my very optimistic take on what is.
Yeah, see, that's
possible.
Exactly. I would love to believe that.
Yeah.
I think there's so many ways it can go wrong.
Look at us getting all kinds of money.
I know. Yeah, Razid gave us $9.99. Thank you. How
Rodrigo Toscano, $5. Hugs from New Orleans. Thank you.
Russ gave another $13.
Andrew Joyner, Rich.
Isaac,
thanks,
gentleman,
buddy.
$10. I mean, do you know how hard it is to get two chicks to divide up a check?
Oh God. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't know. We've been going a while.
Haven't we? We have. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Anthony, 1999.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness, you guys are unbelievable.
Wait, why does it say let's celebrate their first super on a live stream? What does that
I don't
mean?
know what that means. I think it's Anthony's first super.
Oh, that's
I don't
not
know.
ours, sorry.
I don't know what that means, but we'll
yeah.
celebrate it. Sure.
But yeah,
thanks,
I
buddy.
do. Yeah,
what
thanks,
did the people
everyone.
have to say? The people wanted to talk on the Substack chat. They wanted us to talk about let's see them take on the gender issues of the Secret Service. Okay, so last topic.
The gender issues
on the Secret Service.
That woman is transgender? Cheadle? I don't know.
Here's what somebody had to say. He said, I have a harsh opinion on this. If you're a security detail for a Secret Service, you should have a legitimate, proven combat experience, no exceptions. If women want that job, then get on the front lines first. Same goes for men.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
That sounds reasonable.
I kind of disagree, and this is going to piss people off. Ugh. I don't know. You know, sometimes I'm like, don't say it. And then I say it. But I don't know. I feel like it's not something we evolved to do, you know, like sacrifice ourselves.
Oh, you think they shouldn't do
others.
it at all? I thought you were going to say that women should be like on the front lines. What if they're protecting a very small woman and it's actually safer for that woman?
It has to be like
what
their
if they're
own
protecting
child.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
I mean,
it would be very dangerous for a big guy to be protecting Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You need like you or me.
She's maybe the only person, and maybe Kamala, who they would.
Or Joe Biden.
Protect with their lives.
I mean, Joe Biden, I think like a child could probably handle.
Yeah. I just think it's the women on the front lines kind of a thing. I think we're ignoring true sex differences that make a difference in that context because literally lives are on the line. You know, in other contexts, we can sort of fudge the numbers a little bit. We can pretend like it doesn't matter or that individual differences are so overwhelmingly important that this sex thing doesn't make a difference here. But I think that, you know, there are some cases where sex differences really matter and we should take them seriously and we should be more cautious and be more conservative. And I don't know, I would want, if I had security service, I would want men protecting me. And this is, again, this is maybe sexism, but that's what I would want because I don't know. I don't know if the drives of the women are, you know, bent in the same direction. I think men are naturally inclined to protect women.
Well, they used to be. Maybe Asian women.
No, I think it's like this is just like a biological drive. I think.
But you know, like do you think that they're being that inclination is sort of being beat out of them? I think it would be
have to take many years. I mean, it would take a lot longer than this. You know what I mean? For that to happen, we'll die out as a species before then.
Thank you, Ed Woods, $10. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to end on a note that
no. Oh, John, you're right. Good point. Every time I see something about Israel, it amazes me what the women over there are capable of. That's true.
I mean, it's not to say there aren't such a thing as tough women who can do a lot of like incredibly physically demanding and like dangerous work. I think it's possible and even likely in the case of some women. But I just think that there's some scenarios where it's not, you just want everything to go in your favor, every single thing, because it's a matter of life and death, you know? And even in sex, you want it to go in your favor. You want that's how I'm approaching it.
What about police officers?
I don't know. I mean, I don't love the idea of a lot of like, it's just a size thing, even from that perspective.
But there's a lot of small male police officers I've noticed lately.
Sure, that they exist, but
I feel like New York City cops. It's a lot of more Asians you're seeing now, and Filipinos, and you're just seeing smaller.
Okay, no more Asians in the force.
Sorry, was there anything? But yeah, we've been going for a while. I do want to, maybe in the future. I'm curious what people think about the meme wars. I feel like the next several months is just going to be like a war of memes from the extreme. We're going to have like the woke memes, and then we're gonna have
I can't take it.
the
I'm
right
leaving Twitter.
wing,
I can't take it.
the right wing disgusting, I'm sorry, it is misogynist. It's gross.
There's deeply
And
misogynist.
it's not, and it's like Matt Walsh. It's just like, it doesn't work. I'm kind of enjoying it because I think on both sides it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire for the people on the right because reasonable conservatives are saying knock it off, and on the left, we're all just making fun of it. So maybe it'll be fine. But I want to just get back to Elon Musk for a second before we sign off, because what I was going to say is that as much as I feel for him, he also shouldn't be like talking about his child that way in public. I don't think. Like, I mean, but he's setting a bad example. It's like, well, my kid is dead to me.
Yep.
It's like, okay, you know,
that poor kid.
That's not really, not quite, like, this is the problem, is like these issues, they require a lot of understanding of the big picture in order to talk about responsibly, and he's not doing it. He's talking pretty dismissively. I mean, you can see you see the emotion in his face and hear it in his voice, but he's just still being kind of coarse.
It's a terrible situation.
Hurtful about it
in every way. It's a terrible situation, and I would hate to live. This is why I would not want to be one of these wives. One of these like marry a Zuck kind of dude wives, because then you're thrust into this just awful, like, public eye, and your kids are a part of it. I felt like I noticed at Usha Vance's interviews, like I saw her in a couple of things, and she seemed like kind of like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this, but I guess I'm doing it. I guess he wants to run, and I love him, so here I am. But it was definitely I'm here despite everything.
Oh, you don't think that's an act? You don't think that's...
No, it can't be faked. I mean, she was just sort of like it was kind of the Anne Romney kind of a thing, where it was kind of clear she was uncomfortable with the whole situation. It doesn't really, they were like, what do you have in store? And she's like, we'll see. Like, we'll see what we have in store, like what we'll do next. And he's like, like he's doing this.
I know.
I'm having so much fun. And she's sort of like, fake smile. I don't know. Maybe who knows what's going on in the back end, but it seemed as if this is not the life she necessarily saw for herself. Maybe she's not deeply unhappy, but it's not where she imagined.
I wonder what her parents think of the whole thing.
I don't know. Maybe maybe they like him, because a lot of Indians really like Trump.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of like Indians.
But I mean, not the voting wise Indians. I was just
American Indians are different, but
no.
Indian
you mean not American, not Native. You mean Indians living in America, South Asians living in. I see Indians in India. But I think I don't think her parents are in India. She's from San Diego, I believe.
Right, but they could be like late arrivals. You know what I mean? And still like kind of connected to the culture. Like it's not clear, but. Mm-hmm. I know I have some few Indian friends here, and their parents are like Trump supporters. It's like, okay, that's interesting.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, I look forward to more allyship, and I'm going to purge my closet of pink and green as soon as we get off of this.
All right.
I don't want to be hurtful.
Yeah, I think that's important.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Good chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for the donations. Really appreciate it.
Yes. And, thank you. We'll do it again.
Later. Yeah.
We'll do it again soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.